Bucs rookie Rueben Bain Jr. made his preseason debut this weekend in press, tossing a Chiefs O-lineman with one arm to get home to the quarterback for a quarterback pressure. Bain and the rest of the Bucs defense combined to hold the Chiefs to 15 points in the 16-15 preseason dub. Dan, how high are you on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers right now before the season starts?
Incredibly high. I have said this all offseason. I think it's one of the best rosters in football. Sneaky NFC Championship contending football team.
Oh, wow.
Baker Mayfield playing with the chip, we know that. I think it's one of the most continuity-based offensive lines. When this offensive line's healthy, this offense is very good. I think they're really good on the perimeter. Obviously, the loss of Mike Evans is real, but Egbuka not going to be asked to do as much early on in this season. They got first-round picks on their defensive line galore.
They kept Vita.
They kept Vita. They got Ashawn Robinson. Obviously, Kalijah Kancey has to stay healthy. I think Rueben Bain's going to be like Caleb Downs-ish. Oh, the NFL overthought that. Morrison's very good at corner. Antoine Winfield Jr., one of the best corners or safety players and secondary players in football. They signed Alex Anzalone from Detroit. I think the roster is fantastic.
Okay, great. What do you think?
Two things Dan Orlovsky and I agree on. Number one is that you should always show your ankles. Number two is this Bucs team is unbelievable from a talent perspective, from a roster standpoint. Jason Light's one of the best general managers in football, and you nailed it. The entire league, or at least everybody picking in the top 14, overthought Rueben Bain. That little hump move, the Reggie White move, that was being mentioned by Tim Hasselbeck in the first month that Rueben Bain was on campus at the University of Miami 3 years ago. He is an unbelievable culture guy, but he's also so strong. He's going to be able to do that in the NFL on every single snap. The best motor I've seen in a long time at the college level, a demon in the run game, a guy who works harder than anybody. I don't know why there were 14 teams who didn't want this, who thought that short arms were more important than a guy who can change your entire building. He's going to be a defensive rookie of the year candidate, if not my favorite after the preseason. I just think that right now, you talk about Josiah Trotter, also a linebacker who's going to be a rookie. Last year, their problems were stopping the run, stopping explosive plays, and tackling. That's going to be fixed. They're going to win that division. They're going to compete for the NFC Championship.
I just think if Baker protects the football. My thing is when it's crunch time, Baker just needs to protect the football, and this team, behind the Seattle and the Rams, those are the two favorites, I think, in the NFC, and then the Eagles. But when you look at some of the other teams, Lions, Packers, the Bucs are right there, and they easily could be in the NFC title game.
Okay, so everyone here is saying the NFC title game, but then it sounds like there's a little, like you just said, the Rams, the Eagles, potentially. I mean, obviously the Seahawks. Who would you put above the Bucs right now?
Yeah, definitely. I think the Rams are the class of the NFL, obviously. Mm-hmm. I think Seattle's there, but I would remind everybody they're new offensive coordinator.
They've lost pieces.
The last 4 times we've had the Super Bowl champion replace their offensive coordinator, it has been a precipitous, is that fair?
Yes,
Very
good.
Good job, Dan.
Drop in offensive performance. So we'll see what that offense looks like. Philly, Mekhi Lemon's got to get on the field. New offense for Jalen Hurts. We've seen him survive and thrive time and time again. Detroit, offensive line. Green Bay, we got to get Micah healthy.
So are you putting these teams ahead of them?
I think they're in a class. I think that they're in a class. I would put Tampa Bay right up there with the Dallases and the Phillies and the Green Bays. I would put them probably in that second tier behind LA and Seattle.
Yeah.
It's a huge second tier. It's the Rams and the Seahawks.
Yes.
It's about 6 teams. He mentioned them. I also want to point out, Baker Mayfield pissed off about his contract is important because Baker Mayfield, when he's pissed off, is one of the greatest athletes of all time. Michael Jordan, LeBron, Muhammad Ali, pissed off Baker Mayfield. Right there. Right there.
Everybody believes that.
Yeah. That was all of our reactions after his press conference, too.
Really
a boulder on his shoulder is the best thing for Tampa Bay. Okay, let's go to the other side of this and the Chiefs, because there are some issues with the Chiefs and specifically their O-line. How concerning to you are these issues? Let me just preface this by saying any question I give to Kimberly about the preseason, she begins with a slight eye roll. We know the regular season's 2.5 and some change away, but nonetheless.
I think this is a short conversation because it's a major concern. I think anytime we've thought about Patrick Mahomes, it's keeping him upright, keeping him protected. Anytime he's out there scrambling for his life, it's a problem. Oh, then you tack on the fact that he's coming back from a major injury. When you have a lot of questions on this roster, you got aging players, all the things. So this is a major concern for me, and I think that is the thing outside of his knee. I think offensive line play is a big factor with them.
Yeah, I wouldn't be like, oh, it's great that we have offensive line issues and our starting quarterback is coming back from knee surgery and knee problem. Go ahead.
You right there,
It's
too?
not ideal.
It's all not. It's ankle gang. We're the ankle gang here.
But are you agreeing or disagreeing
With what?
that it's a concern?
It is a concern, but it's not high on the list for me.
Whoa.
I think that if you're saying, okay, if it's February and somebody said, why did the Chiefs not compete for a Super Bowl? I would put receiving help at the very top because the deep ball has to get better with Patrick Mahomes. That was his great separator, especially earlier in his career. And then I would put replacing a bunch of defensive pieces, including with cornerback. Is Mansour Delane ready to go when you lose your two starting cornerbacks? You lose Brian Cook, you lose pieces there. There's just questions about that. And then I would go to the offensive line. Last year, Patrick Mahomes pressured, I believe, 24% of throws. That's high, but it's in line with his career averages. It's a little higher than it was 2 years ago. It's actually risen the last 4 years, but not to the level of some of the crazy offensive line numbers we've seen throughout the league. He knows how to avoid pressure. He knows how to operate in the pocket. He knows how to sense pressure. He's good. I just think there's bigger issues in Kansas City than the O-line.
Yeah, I think the takeaway is there's real issues in Kansas City, top to bottom. It's not just offensive line. Surely offensive line, and Shay, to your point, surely it's concerning. Can Patrick be who Patrick has been? Not only as from the health standpoint, but from the playmaking standpoint. He's been one of the greatest players of the last generation, certainly in the history of the NFL, is because of that. Is he going to be capable of doing that? I think the offensive line is a big concern. I think the fact that they're going to be dependent on and relying on so many rookies to not only play, but play at a high level is a big concern. I think receiver is a huge concern because Rashee Rice, is he going to be there? How healthy is he? The same with Xavier Worthy. They're got to rely on Cyrus Allen a ton, who again is a rookie. I mean, we're talking about a team that people are saying Super Bowl contender that is going to need significant contribution from 5 rookies. Significant. If we got to January and in the NFL, the Chargers, both teams are healthy. The Chargers aren't in the playoffs and the Chiefs are. That would be a massive, massive disappointment in LA. Massive. They are significantly more talented.
Yeah. Once again, though, they're bitten by the injury bug.
Yes.
And they're already injured.
What they do.
And very unproven, as we've talked about time and time again. However, given the roster construction and where everyone is right now, sure, maybe. Coming up here on First Take, why are so many people ruling?
Graziano, our ESPN NFL insider, joining us in studio. What's up, Graz?
Must be football season.
It must be football season.
Love the excitement that you
close.
just showed there.
It's getting close.
It must be football season because we're debating who's going to be the Browns quarterback, which feels like an evergreen topic. In your opinion, who's it going to be? Shedeur Sanders or Deshaun Watson?
It should be Shedeur. I just don't. I mean, I don't know why Deshaun's still on the team, but he is. So maybe they start him to try and get something out of that contract at the end. The fact of the matter is, this is a sad situation. Like they don't have a good option. Quarterback. If the Browns are any good this year and competitive this year, it will probably be because of the group around the quarterback as opposed to the quarterback himself. You could certainly see multiple different guys starting at some point this year for them, which wouldn't be anything new. Mm-hmm. And, Deshaun's performance in the press conference over the weekend really kind of really brought everything home in terms of just sort of how quarterbackless they actually are. Sorry. I mean, if Browns fans are listening, I'm not telling them anything they don't know.
I think based on their response to Deshaun Watson, they're unfortunately all too aware of their situation at the quarterback position.
Yeah, but I mean, if you start Deshaun,